Imagine having the power to make any woman intensely desire you without saying a single word. You walk into a room, and she already feels your magnetic presence pulling her attention like an invisible magnet. You know that guy who seems to hypnotize women just by existing in the same space as them. That guy can be you, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make that happen in the next few minutes. Pay close attention, because what I'm about to reveal here is ultra-rare knowledge that less than 1% of men truly master. You're about to discover the silent code that separates ordinary men from the true maestros of attraction. It's like having a master key that opens any female emotional lock, without needing to force anything. Have you ever noticed how some guys seem to have a natural magnetism? They walk into a place, and women simply gravitate towards them. It's not about physical appearance. It's not about money. It's about mastering the secret language the body speaks when the mind is in tune with authentic masculine power. Now answer me this. How many times have you frozen up when it came to talking to a beautiful woman? How many opportunities have you lost because you didn't know what to say? What if I told you that the problem was never what you should say, but rather what you should communicate without words? The big mistake 99% of men make is believing that seduction happens through words. They memorize pickup lines, rehearse conversations, try to impress with elaborate stories. Meanwhile, the woman has already decided whether she's interested or not within the first 3 seconds of eye contact. 3 seconds. That's all you have to create or destroy attraction. You know what happens when you rely on words? You become a prisoner of your own anxiety. Your heart races, your mind freezes, you stutter or talk too much. Worse still, you transmit desperation and insecurity, 2 deadly female repellents. It's like trying to light a bonfire by blowing water on it instead of air. Do you think women are attracted to what you say? Wrong. Studies show that 87% of human communication is nonverbal. When you speak, only 7% of the message is in the words. The rest is in your tone of voice, your posture, your gaze, your gestures. And that's exactly where the magic happens. Think with me. When a woman sees a man for the first time, her primitive brain does an instant scan. Is he dangerous or safe? Is he strong or weak? Is he confident or insecure? All of this happens before you even open your mouth. If you fail in that first silent impression, it doesn't matter how good your words are afterward. I've spent the last 12 years deciphering this code. I've analyzed thousands of interactions, studied the body language of men who naturally attract women, and discovered patterns that almost no one notices. What I'm about to share with you now is the result of that obsession to understand masculine nonverbal communication. I'm going to give you the treasure map. But first, let me tell you a secret that few apply. Female attraction doesn't work like an on-off switch. It's more like a dimmer, an intensity that you gradually increase through micro signals your body sends. Every gesture you make is a message. Every glance is a conversation. Every movement is a declaration. Now, let's get to the point. I'm going to teach you the 5 fundamental pillars to dominate any woman without saying a word. Pay very close attention, because every detail makes the difference between being invisible and being irresistible. First pillar, magnetic presence through power posture. You need to understand that your body is a radar that transmits signals all the time. When you walk into a room with slumped shoulders, a downcast head, and hesitant steps, you are screaming insecurity without realizing it. Now imagine the opposite. You walk in with a straight spine, open chest, chin slightly elevated, and firm steps. It's as if the environment adjusts to your presence, not the other way around. You know that feeling, when someone important walks into a room and everyone notices? That's no accident. It's calibrated presence. You occupy the space as if it were yours by right, not with arrogance, but with naturalness. It's the difference between asking permission to exist and simply being there because it's where you belong. Try this right now. Lift your shoulders, roll them back and down, feel your chest open naturally. Breathe deeply through your nose and exhale slowly. Do you notice how you instantly feel more powerful? Women pick up on this in milliseconds. They sense when a man is comfortable in his own skin. Can you feel the difference? Second pillar, the gaze that hypnotizes and creates deep connection. If eyes are the windows to the soul, then you need to learn how to open those windows at the right time and in the right way. Most men either avoid eye contact out of fear or stare too much and scare women away. The secret lies in balance and calibrated intensity. When you look into a woman's eyes, don't look away immediately as if you've been caught doing something wrong. Maintain contact for 3 to 5 seconds. Then slowly look away with a micro smile at the corner of your mouth. It's like saying without words that you noticed her, approved, and are in no hurry. This creates a delicious tension that makes her heart race. There's a technique I call the triangular gaze. You subtly alternate between her left eye, right eye, and lips. Do this while she's talking and observe how she unconsciously begins to lean in your direction. It's pure biology. Her brain interprets this pattern as romantic interest and responds by increasing dopamine production. Remember one crucial thing: never look at a woman from below. Always keep your chin parallel to the floor or slightly elevated. Looking up from below transmits submission. Looking from the same level or from above transmits confidence and control. Small detail, big difference. Does that make sense to you? Third pillar: gestures that communicate authentic masculinity. Your hands tell stories about who you are before you even realize it. Insecure men hide their hands in their pockets, cross their arms defensively, or make quick, nervous movements. Confident men move their hands with purpose and calm. When you gesture, make broad, controlled movements. Imagine you are moving through honey instead of air. Each gesture should have a defined beginning, middle, and end. No spasmodic or agitated movements. It's the difference between a maestro conducting an orchestra and someone trying to swat flies. Here's a secret almost no one applies. When you are sitting near a woman, occasionally touch your own face, run your hand through your hair, or adjust your shirt collar. These strategic self-touches activate mirror neurons in her brain, making her unconsciously imagine what it would be like to touch you. Is it manipulation? No, it's natural subliminal communication that alpha males do instinctively. Do you see how this changes everything? Fourth pillar: the strategic use of space and proximity. The way you navigate an environment and manage distances speaks volumes about your level of confidence. Insecure men either stay too far away out of fear or invade personal space too early out of anxiety. You need to master the dance of distances. Start by maintaining a comfortable social distance, about 5 feet. As the interaction evolves and you notice signs of interest, gradually reduce it to personal distance, about 1.5 feet. If she doesn't back away or create barriers with objects, you have a green light to continue approaching. Use what I call the whisper test. At some point in the conversation, lean in slightly as if to tell a secret, and speak a little softer. If she leans in to hear better, instead of backing away, you've just received a clear sign that attraction is happening. It's like an internal radar that detects her comfort and interest level. Now pay attention to this crucial detail. Always position your body at an angle, never fully facing her at the beginning. Being completely face-to-face is too confrontational and intense. The 45-degree angle creates comfort and allows her to gradually gain your full attention. It's you controlling the pace of seduction. Can you visualize that happening? Fifth pillar: perfect timing and the art of magnetic silence. This is the most powerful and least understood element. Most men dread silence and try to desperately fill it with words. But silence, when used correctly, is a devastating weapon of seduction. When she finishes speaking, don't respond immediately. Count mentally to 3 while maintaining eye contact and a slight smile. This micro-silence creates a tension that makes her wonder what you're thinking. It's you demonstrating that you're not desperate to impress, that you process before reacting. There's also the power of what we don't do. Don't nervously shake your legs. Don't tap your fingers. Don't check your phone every 30 seconds. Every unnecessary movement you eliminate increases your presence. It's as if you are so comfortable and confident that you don't need distractions or anxiety outlets. Let me tell you something that will change your perspective. When you master these 5 pillars, something magical happens. Women start doing the work for you. They initiate conversations, ask questions, seek your approval. You completely reverse the traditional dynamic where the man pursues and the woman chooses. Does this make sense? Or do I need to explain it better? Now I'm going to reveal the framework I use to organize all of this in practice. It's what I call the PEG code: presence, eye contact, and gestures. Simple to remember, powerful to apply. Presence is your foundation, how you occupy space and project confidence. Eye contact is your connection, how you establish and maintain interest. Gestures are your communication, how you transmit masculinity and create attraction. But here's the secret that transforms knowledge into power. You need to practice each element separately before integrating everything. Spend a week focusing only on improving your posture and presence. The following week, add work on eye contact. Then, integrate conscious gestures. It's like learning to drive. You don't start parallel parking in the first lesson. I know you might be thinking right now, but if I don't say anything, she'll think I'm shy or uninteresting. Let me destroy that limiting belief right now. When your nonverbal communication is calibrated, silence is not an absence of communication. It is concentrated communication. You are saying with every fiber of your being that you are a high-value man who doesn't need to prove himself with words. Think of the most seductive men in cinema. They speak little, but communicate a lot. Each word, when it comes, carries weight, because it is not wasted. You won't be mute all the time, obviously. But when you master the art of silent communication, your words become the seasoning, not the main course. I'll give you a practical example. Imagine you're at a party. Instead of directly approaching that interesting woman, you first establish your presence in the room. You chat with other people, laugh genuinely, demonstrate that you are comfortable and in control. She will notice you even before you interact directly. When your eyes finally meet, you don't immediately look away or stare like a predator. You hold it for 3 seconds, give a micro smile, and return your attention to where it was. This plants a seed in her mind. Who is this guy who isn't desperate for my attention? Minutes later, you naturally position yourself closer to her, perhaps at the bar or near where she's talking. You don't invade, you just exist in the same space. If she's interested, and after what you've done she probably is, she will create an opportunity for interaction. A longer glance, a smile, an accidental proximity. It's at this moment that you use the power of the first touch. I'm not talking about deliberately grabbing her hand or arm. I'm talking about an accidental touch, when grabbing something at the bar, a slight brush as you pass by her. This subtle first physical contact breaks the touch barrier and paves the way for later escalation. Do you see how all of this happens before you say a significant word? Now I'm going to teach you how to read the silent signals she sends. Because communication is a two-way street, and you need to know when to accelerate and when to pull back. Interested women lean their bodies towards you, play with their hair, touch their own neck or collarbone, moisten their lips more frequently. But the clearest signal of all is what I call eye triangulation. When she alternates her gaze between your eyes and your mouth repeatedly, her brain is literally imagining a kiss. It's an involuntary sign that attraction has reached a physical level. When you notice this happening, it's time to reduce the distance and increase the intensity of your gaze. There's also the issue of mirroring. Human beings naturally mirror the movements of people they find attractive or interesting. If you cross your legs, and seconds later she crosses hers too. If you touch your chin, and she touches hers, these are clear signs of rapport and interest. Use this to your advantage by subtly mirroring her movements as well. Let me be direct with you now. None of this works if you're faking it. Women have an internal radar for detecting inconsistencies. If your body language says confidence, but your energy screams insecurity, they will sense that something is wrong. That's why consistent practice is fundamental. Start by applying these techniques in low-pressure situations. At the grocery store, in line at the bank, with the barista at the coffee shop. Not with the intention of seducing, but of practicing presence and non-verbal communication. The more natural this becomes, the more powerful it will be when you truly want to create attraction. There's a fatal mistake I see men make all the time. They learn these techniques and turn into robots trying to execute a programmed sequence. It doesn't work like that. Every woman is unique. Every situation is different. The principles are universal, but the application needs to be fluid and adaptable. Remember that you are creating a dance, not executing a rigid choreography. Sometimes she will approach faster than you expect. Sometimes she will need more time to feel comfortable. Your ability to read and respond to these signals is what separates a truly seductive man from someone just applying techniques. Now I'm going to share a concept that few men understand: the power of strategic absence. After establishing connection and interest, occasionally remove your attention completely. Turn your body away, engage in another conversation, demonstrate that you have other options and interests. This activates what psychology calls the scarcity principle. What can be lost immediately becomes more valuable. When you return your attention after this strategic absence, the impact is multiplied. She values your presence more because she experienced your absence. But be careful not to overdo it. It's not about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about demonstrating that you are a complete man who doesn't depend on her validation to feel good. This is incredibly attractive because it communicates abundance instead of scarcity, confidence instead of need. Does this dynamic make sense? There's a golden rule you need to engrave in your mind. Less is more. Every unnecessary gesture dilutes your power. Every unnecessary word weakens your mystery. Every anxious movement diminishes your presence. Learn to be comfortable in stillness, in space, in silence. Think of yourself as a deep, calm lake instead of a turbulent, noisy river. People are naturally drawn to calm waters because they promise depth and mystery. When you are constantly agitated and talking, you are shallow and predictable. When you are calm and controlled, you are intriguing and magnetic. I'll tell you something I discovered after years of studying this. Silent seduction isn't about not talking. It's about communicating so much without words that when you finally speak, each word has the weight of a declaration. It's about creating so much tension and interest that she is hanging on every syllable that comes out of your mouth. When you master this, something extraordinary happens. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop convincing and start selecting. You stop proving yourself and start being proven. The entire dynamic of seduction reverses in your favor. But let me warn you about something important. With great power comes great responsibility. When you master these techniques, you will have the ability to create intense attraction in many women. Use this with integrity. Don't play with feelings. Don't create expectations you don't intend to fulfill. True power is not in how many women you can attract, but in attracting the right women and building meaningful connections. These techniques are tools. What you build with them depends on your character and intentions. Now think about the man you were when you started reading this, and the man you can become by applying these principles. The difference isn't in learning tricks or techniques. It's in awakening a dormant masculinity that has always been within you, but was suppressed by social conditioning and insecurities. Every man has a natural seducer within him. The problem is that modern society has taught us to suppress our instincts, to apologize for our desire, to hide our masculine nature. These techniques are not about pretending to be someone else. They are about unleashing who you truly are when you remove the layers of fear and insecurity. Can you feel that potential within you? I'll finish with a truth that can change your life. Attraction is not something you do, it's something you are. When you embody presence, confidence, and authentic masculinity, you don't need to do anything special to attract. You simply exist in your fullness, and the right women naturally gravitate towards you. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing you have the power to create attraction effortlessly. Imagine walking into any room knowing you can establish a connection with any woman who sparks your interest. Imagine never again feeling that paralyzing pit in your stomach because you don't know what to say. That future is literally a few weeks of practice away, but only if you act. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can continue consuming content and remain in the same situation. Or you can start practicing these principles today and completely transform your reality. Start now. At the next mirror you pass, practice your confident gaze. In your next social interaction, consciously adjust your posture. In the next environment you enter, practice occupying space with presence. Small, consistent actions create big transformations. Remember the metaphor of the silent maestro. You don't need to make noise to command the orchestra. You just need to be in control of yourself, your movements, your energy. When you master yourself, you naturally influence everything around you. One last thing before you go. This knowledge I've shared is extremely rare. Less than 1% of men go beyond consuming and actually apply it. Be part of that 1%. Be the man who not only knows, but does. Be the silent maestro of your own life. Like this video now if this made sense to you. Subscribe to the channel before you leave, because what's coming next is even more powerful. Do it now before procrastination convinces you to put it off. Your magnetic future begins with this small action. And always remember, you don't need to say a word to dominate. You just need to be the man who doesn't need to say anything because his presence has already said it all. The silent maestro doesn't ask for attention. He commands it naturally. That maestro is inside you, waiting to be unleashed. It's time to let him conduct the symphony.